Hi, Tooth. How's it going, man? Okay. Doing good. Hope all is going well with you too. Yeah, I can't complain, man. And I had a bit of time off here and there. Went to Africa, and my sister got married. So it's been all go, but all good. Hey Erica, how's it going? I owe you a text, Erica, about that thing I asked you about. If I could be more vague. Hi Max. Did we meet in Joburg? Who's texting me now? Dennis Hansen. Oh. Hey Dennis. People from all over today. Taking a break from work, Erica. What's wrong with you? You're crazy. Oh, good for you. You deserve it. I'm doing very well. My sister got married last week, and she had like all of her in-laws over and stuff. So it was a intense week or so, but fun. Got a lot of work to catch up on, though. I'm sure you know the feeling. Oh, great, Max. Okay, yeah. Yes, I remember you now. I remember recommending Simon Roy. Nicholas, this is a commission. I took a couple of commissions via my newsletter this week, so at the moment I just have 2. So I figured I'd try to get one out of the way before I hit the road again. Hi Sean. This is a A4 size. If I was doing a cover, it would be A3 size, but I don't tend to live stream covers because the camera is too high up and I'd end up getting my whole head in the frame while I'm drawing, and I don't think anybody needs that. But these A4 commissions are pretty good sizes for doing a live stream. Those who don't know, in the chat, Erica Durso is the artist on Batman Immortal Legend, and she does great live streams too, so, well, too. Better than mine. so you should check her out. Oh, thanks, Erica. Yeah, my sister got all the talent and looks. I can draw though, so I'm good too. But yeah, that bloody rainbow that started for their wedding photos is unreal. It looks fake, but it's not. And thank you, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go up to Dublin tomorrow morning. Erica, I'll tell the guys you said hi. Oh, Pud. That's one of the few folks to pull off the asymmetrical glove look next to Michael Jackson and Can. Very much so, I agree. And this is kind of one of those guys. I've drawn him once before for a commission, and I was like, I don't know, not really my thing. But then you start drawing him, and then it all kind of comes together. You're like, oh, I get it. He's cool. But it's like you read my emails. Do you sketch out a thumbnail before this, or just wing it out a bit until you get the composition on paper? Max, if I was doing a, I've shown this before, but just so you see it, when I do covers and the like, I do them all out this size first. You know, here's some Thundercats covers and stuff. So yeah, covers, I do it all out this size. But with commissions, I actually wing it. With covers, I'm trying to keep a kind of spontaneous feel, that doesn't really replicate if you're like redrawing. But I find with commissions, when I do roughs beforehand, it kills it a little weirdly. I think it's the size. If I did if the commission was a 3 size, I would do a rough. For this size, I just kind of start drawing, which is why I think sometimes. And I made sure I didn't do it this time. I start drawing too low on the page, where the head is here and there's too much space up top. But this time I flipped it where I wanted to have less room on top and more on the bottom. So I learned from my mistake. But yeah, so I'm very much big into doing roughs beforehand, but at this size I tend not to. That makes sense. How do you feel about the kind of weird sci-fi fashion cosmic characters like Thanos have? Do you find it fun or tedious to draw? No joke this time, just curious. Well, thank you for an actual serious question, but sci-fi fashion cosmic character. How do you feel about the kind of weird sci-fi fashion cosmic characters? Could you give me another example, Bud? Because like when I was drawing Thanos, I know what it kind of like the classical Thanos looks like. And then I googled to see what he looks like now, and it's definitely more complex stuff here that I think some of it is cool and some of it is unnecessary. It kind of depends. I think that's what you're getting at maybe, but you know, just drawing him in shorts I think probably doesn't fly so much anymore because it looks, you know, it doesn't look as imposing. But there's a lot of complex stuff on his costume here that I just kind of didn't bother with. I just kind of implied it a bit. I think some of the kind of movie aesthetic stuff looks really cool in film, but like to draw it is a real pain in the hoop. I remember when I was drawing Captain America, when I was working on Deadpool, and there was a very complicated kind of look to the costume then, and I just simplified it down a bit. So I think that's what you're getting at, but I could be wrong. Like he's got these kind of glowing bits on his gloves and stuff here now, and I think that's cool. I think, you know, it's very graphic shape design based, and it's more visually interesting. I like that. But I think you can overcomplicate things too, you know. Like these gloves are more complicated than what I thought I'd be drawing, but I do like them. just thinking this in terms of Adam Strange, who I spent most of yesterday writing about an essay. Simple cosmic characters tend to have very different redesigns. I'm just trying to think of examples off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank though, to be honest, sorry. You mean the simple cosmic characters tend to have like designs that are quite different from the original? Is that true of cosmic characters more than any other character? Nicholas. Oh, sorry, my microphone's way over here. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I loved when you did those variant covers for All-Star Batman, and I see you recently did one for Batman and Robin. Hopefully DC will get you to draw one for Absolute Batman. Yeah, that'd be nice. Nicholas, I've done one for Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. I just did one for Absolute Green Lantern. It's not public yet. Just did it this week. Yeah, I'd love to do an Absolute Batman one, but you know, maybe they'll ask. Who knows? Things like that can be down to editors, or it can be down to, you know, people you know or you haven't worked with or you have worked with, and but that would be fun. I wouldn't say no if I was asked. I'll put it that way. Or anytime I'm asked to do Batman, the answer is yes. Every Captain Marvel is a good example. I think it's noticeable cosmic folk because they're based in an idea of sci-fi, which as a genre changes much more quickly than others. See Star Trek. That's a very interesting point, bud. Like, I don't want to talk out of school, but I'm not mad about that current Captain Marvel costume with the jacket and the stuff. I think if it was a Star Trek uniform, it would be cool, but that's not necessarily fun to draw. There's a big difference between a cool costume that looks good as a costume and one that's actually practical and interesting to draw over and over again. There isn't necessarily a large crossover in that Venn diagram. Like, you know, the TNG uniforms in Trek would be fun to draw. The movie ones, cause the red ones with the like the Kirk film ones would probably be less fun to draw, but still would be fun to draw. The current stuff kind of. I think stuff on film can get quite complicated and look really cool and interesting, but like there's a big difference between that working as a drawing, you know. Let's see curious how I would be to approach it. I did do a if you Google maybe Declan Shalvey Absolute Batman, I did do a sketch when I read the first issue. I did a little fan sketch, which I don't normally do, but I really liked that first issue. I don't like it, to be honest. I think I did a crap job and I probably should not have posted it. Maybe that's why I'm not doing a cover, because somebody saw a really bad fan piece. I didn't think I'd really figured out how to draw him. But I think with a proper stab I could do a good job. get into a detailed drawing, my head tends to get close to the page. Try resist that urge. Yeah, Napoleonic era military uniforms were visually fun, but it'd be a nightmare to draw with all its pomp and circumstance. So many lines. Exactly. Does it look great? Yes. Will it look great as a drawing? Not necessarily. Will it be fun to draw? Probably not. But then, you know, you'll have people who love drawing that stuff, but like, especially with superhero stuff, you got to draw that figure again and again and again and again. And it can really grind the gears if you're just drawing all this complicated stuff that's really ultimately unnecessary. Translation: the artist is lazy. Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. I know. Look, drawing comics is hard. So much goes into a lot of it. Drawing a needlessly complicated character costume, I think it's just a bit of a waste of time. You can do good design that isn't overly complicated, you know. Sometimes, you know, it looks great and it is fun to draw. Like Man-Thing is a lot of work to draw, you know. It's not a design necessarily, it's not a costume, but to draw him is a lot of work, but it is also a lot of fun. So it's not like you can never ever do it, but I do see a trend in comics where you'll have somebody come in to do a design on a character, but they are not drawing the book, so they can add every bell and whistle to the feckin' thing and never have to actually worry about like how to practically draw this when this issue needs to go to print every month, you know, little things like that. It's like, I have to draw this city exploding, but no. This character has 16 specific bells that need to be along the arm and what have you. It's just about smart design, you know. I don't mind that stuff for the films. It looks great in the films. Like, to me, it seems to me this Thanos design is a little influenced by the film. But I don't feel it's too complicated. This actually, I'm lying a little bit. I simplified the belt. The design I saw, the belt was had more complications going on, so I'm like, nah. I just didn't feel like it was needed. But I kept the rest pretty much. I think maybe I simplified the boots a small bit. And like I said, I simplified this bit a little bit. But yeah, maybe just toned it down, maybe 10%. But I think simplicity can be a misunderstood elegance. Looking to Thanos, the cosmic cube is not a visually imposing thing, but it's a wonderful visual. Large purple man holding cube is compelling. That's true. But, like, I will say though, like, you know, I could have drawn a more classic looking Thanos. It wasn't a specific version I had to draw, but I thought it was just a little bit. Actually, if you Google Declan Shalvey Thanos, my earlier commission would come up. I think that is closer to the original design, and I do remember having fun drawing that. I thought that came out well. There's a balance, I would say, in my view. Okie dokie. It looks very Infinity or Thanos wins looking Thanos, which is a great look and is a great drawing, even as the Thanos nappy codpiece in Casey fights Ant-Man. Yeah, I can't remember the specifics of it, but I think that is a fairly appropriate description. Like, stuff doesn't necessarily make a character look better. It can though. Do some washes on this now. But I need to rub off a lot of this pencil. Not all of it, so I can see where I want to do my rims and stuff, but just to get a lot of the excess lead off. Any questions or anything, ask away, by the way. Not just Pud. Hey, Erica. Ooh, so you dip the brush after you got the paper wet. I directly pour ink in the pen tank mixed with water. Yeah, I found that the mechanism here gets blocked up when I have a mix of Indian ink and water. So I used to get frustrated; it would just stop working. So now I just I tend to have a mix of like heavy. Although this is gone. This is okay. This has gone to hell. I have like a light wash and a dark wash. I'm being lazy right now. I'm just using some water and just dipping in a little bit of Indian ink, but I should actually mix this up. So yeah, so this is just a bit of water, and I'm going to just pour a little bit of Indian ink into it. Not much. Okay. Just mix it in a bit. Okay. So how's that looking? I will also test it on my hand. Okay, that's pretty heavy actually. Heavier than I meant. But I'll just dip a little of I'll just dip it in water and it'll lighten it for me. Makes sense. I have different brushes with tank for different uses, but it's a lot. I don't use it this way. I'm very lazy. I found 2 different levels are good to play with, because if it's too many levels, you just kind of get too stuck in it. But like you can always go heavier. You know, it's hard to go lighter. This is a little heavier than I'd start with, but what I'll do is when that dries now, I'm going to go with a lighter wash and just block in some of those areas. Feeling weirdly self-conscious knowing Erica's looking. Hey Jamie. Alright, I just saw your email before I started. I'll get back to you. Obviously I was going to email you letting you know I will have this done.
Luke. Is this Luke Sparrow? Do I even use bigger paint brushes? Not really. I'll use this to fill in blacks. You know, this one fill in bigger blacks. But this is pretty much, and this one for like white splatter. But that's pretty much it. I kind of wing it a lot, to be honest. Which can backfire on you sometimes, but it can also kind of keep you on your toes a little bit too. Oh, okay. Is that a little sparrow drawing you have? That is. That's pretty cute, Luke. So I mean, I'm just gonna blot. This is. I just dipped this in water, so it's lighter than everything else. Oh, thanks, Pod. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping in. Oh, thanks, Nicholas. THANOS. Yeah, Terminator really works well. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Dennis, sorry. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, yeah, Terminator threw me off there. Sean, my 8-year-old daughter walked in on this 40 minutes ago and she was engrossed. Ah, that's so nice. Glad I could stop swearing for 40 minutes. The worst part was insurance already occurs here. Yeah, agreed. I guess I should actually mention that I have a new Terminator book coming out in October. It's called Terminator Metal, and the FOC is on Monday. So if any of you are curious to try it out, and I recommend you do, feel free to let your comic book person, facilitator, know about it. Sorry there. Crap. Where's the phone? There it is. Okey-doke. Let's see. I think that's all it for the wash. It's always the danger of overdoing it. Hey Danny, how's it going, man? Thank you very much. You know it's Thanos, right? It's not like Batman or whatever. Watching and learning. I don't know what you're learning from this, man. You're doing fine on your own. Yeah, looking forward to looking forward to New York, man. Is M coming over with you this year again? Danny's learning what not to do by looking at this. Oh, you've ruined her. Poor woman. Yeah, I'm not going over with my girlfriend, i.e. Stephen Mooney, this year, so I'll be knocking around on my own. I'd say sometimes, like, I don't know if you can see this. This isn't deliberate. My head. This will all be black, but sometimes, I try and like let accidents happen, and not just something might be a mistake, but I know in my mind my stuff's very, very messy, but it's been pointed out to me that it's actually not. I've cleaned up a lot over the years, I guess. Comics power couple. I think I'm probably a lot more controlled than I realise I am. In my mind, I'm like, when I'm inking, I'm like playing jazz, but I'm really not. But I do hope that sometimes it's a bit too grey there. Yeah, break that up a small bit. I do try and make sure there's like some element that wasn't pre-planned in the inks. It's kind of how I'll pencil a lot of stuff quite tightly, but then just kind of leaves room to like play around. Like, for example, I'm probably going to go back in and ink this darker. I penciled it black, and then I thought I'd do it in wash, but now it looks too different to the other rendering, so I'm going to go back in and do more line work there, because I think it looks too reflective. There's reflective surfaces, and now that looks reflective, and it shouldn't, because it's more of a darker form, if that makes sense. I'm just talking nonsense now, aren't I? You know, the things like smoke here, I'm going to try and not be as follow the pencils as tightly. Oh, good. Thanks, Nicholas. I just always want to kind of make sure my stuff has a little bit of has a little kind of a spark of spontaneity. I don't know if I do accomplish that, but I try. When like, you know, it's all very clearly formed and drawn, and you know, but if there could be a little like 5% of like, okay, that's an accident. I wanted to keep that white, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But there's other stuff I just don't, you know, it's not what you planned, but it doesn't need fixing either, if that makes sense. Okay, give some Matteo Scalera vibes, you know. I wish. Oh, how I wish. Thanks, Erica. Appreciate it. He's so good at washes. Washes were like, I felt like my thing, and then I saw Matteo come along. I'm like, well, that was that. Time over. I feel like he has so much control over what he's doing, whereas I'm kind of a lot of the time just making it up as I go along. See what I mean? It just feels, I think it's got more weight to it by actually having a black value rather than a grey one. ridiculous. Do you mean? I assume you mean Mateo, but Thanos is from another planet. That's what you mean. I may compliment Mateo. You may not. For my ego is too weak. You come to my house and you compliment Mateo Scalera, then Declan gets very sad. Hey. It's all a bit rough here. I'm just going to tighten these bits up. Max, you got your own cool way of doing ink washes. It's Kurt Cobain saying, "Oh, I can't play classical music like Andrei Sukova, but I am sure he can't play like me." That's true, except I'm pretty sure Mateo could do whatever the fuck he wants. But I'm okay. I'm good. I'm relatively secure in my own abilities, and insecure in Mateo's. Hey. That is kind of one thing you have to kind of just get your head around as a pro. There's just some people out there who are just absolute beasts, and no matter how much you try, you'll never be as good as them. But you can be the best you can be. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, but you know what I mean. You can kind of use these people as ways to encourage yourself rather than bring yourself down. So when I see people like Mateo, I try to use that as a boost to like try harder rather than just give up. Yeah, Luke, you're right. He sucks. I'm glad we can all agree. Especially you guys. Just want to soften this a bit. Just tighten up some of the scratchy bits I missed. Oh, thanks, Luke. anyone doesn't know Luke Sparrow, we worked together on Terminator, and man, he's did like an amazing Invincible piece this week. It's fantastic. I'm going to do a little bit of space stars, but first. Nice. Calm down, deck. Go crazy. This is my crappy, beat up, crappy brush that I use for white splatter. Actually, don't want to go crazy here. Just going to do a little. A bit too much there. Right. Just a little more. Right, I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm just going to drive myself mad. Otherwise. Yeah, that's good. That'll do. Right, so thanks guys. Thanks for keeping me company. I'm hoping to do another one of these next week anyway, so we'll see if I manage that. But yeah, this helps things fly by. So thanks a million, guys. I'm out of here, but I might see you next week. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, so I'm just going to go. If you don't know, sure you don't either. Yeah, good point. Nobody knows nothing. But yeah, thanks a million, guys. Cheers. I'll catch you later.